We are the monster, an army of one. We are the monster, holding the sun.
Hey guys, this is Tattoo Tony, and we're back at the Monster Abandoned Ripoff Stadium. There's really some awesome stuff that I find in the basement, and you guys got to see a little bit of the offices and area underneath the grandstand. In this video, I'm going to show you the rest.
Dude,
So,
there's a car that just made a second pass. Get a picture.
this is a little bit of a recap. This is about right where we left off in the last video. If you didn't see the first video, go back and watch it because it's quite spectacular and I think you'll enjoy it. By the way, everybody hit the like button. If you enjoy my videos and you want me to keep making videos, hit the like button. By hitting the like button, you help my video get more views, which in turn helps me make a little more ad revenue, which in turn I spend on making videos. The Firehouse video actually got over 500 likes, and because of all those likes, it ended up getting more views. And so what happens is, if 500 of you guys will hit the like button or more, instead of making $1 off one of these videos that takes me hours to produce and upload and film, I might make like $15, which I spend on making more videos. So don't be a freeloader, hit the dang like button. And if I get over 500 likes, I will pick a winner. I will pick a winner, and you get to pick the size, design, color, style, and I will have a t-shirt shipped to your house. I picked a winner. I picked a random winner on the Firehouse video, so check and make sure you got any comments that I might have responded to, because I picked a winner and I notified you via your comment on that video. Dang, mosquitoes and flies flying around everywhere. So these are some photos Andrew took. You can see the upper deck, the concrete falling through. That's me going down the ladder when I just exited. There's a picture of the stands. It's just paint, it says. And there's the stands from a distance. Andrew is on Instagram at nd.photography. nd.photography. And he is also on Instagram at FocusGrim, FOKUSGRIM, FocusGrim. I'm trying to get Andrew to start putting photographs on t-shirts. He's got all sorts of photographs, some that would lend themselves to making awesome t-shirts. I think he'd actually sell some, so I'm just going to keep repeating that stuff until one day he says, guess what?
I think it's cool.
Guess what? I made a bunch of t-shirts. Moldy, slimy, and grimy. So I'm going to rehash a little bit of the history. Whoa, what's going on there? That's crazy. In January of 1955, Mayor Peter Mandich pushed the city council for the construction of a sports complex called the South Gleason Park Athletic Complex. Mandich promised the council that if costs exceeded their ability to pay, that the project would go no further. the council decided to go forward with the construction of a stadium
Hey, bro.
as the first element, funding construction to the tune of $350,000 in bonds. Several weeks later, Mandich again appealed for funds to complete the stadium, stating, "I'd much rather not build a stadium if we're not going to build a decent one." Throughout the bidding process, city officials were given lowball estimates to work with. Before long, it was discovered that $687,000 was already awarded to independent contractors. Cost overruns continued to loom as construction wrapped up in 1956, and the final bill amounted to $1 million, which would be $8.5 million today, and that was just spent on a municipal stadium. See that hole in the concrete? I'm about to sneak past there on the edge, and that's pretty freaky because all these levels are falling through. I think Andrew did it too, but at a different time. That was kind of nuts. I normally don't do stuff like that. I would usually maybe walk around and say this isn't worth it. See, that's crazy. So to compare this to another sports facility, to illustrate how horrendous spending on the project had become, in 1957, for $940,000, Green Bay Packers Lambeau Field in Green Bay used 11,000 tons of steel to complete an NFL-caliber venue that could seat 32,000 fans. The stadium in Gary cost more to build and used only 630 tons of steel and could only seat 10,000 people. Isn't that crazy? It costs more and they only used 630 tons where they used 11,000 tons in Green Bay. Citizens were understandably livid, having to foot the cost of a substandard facility. Plans to construct additional sports facilities for the South Gleason Park athletic complex came to a screeching halt. There's some cool stuff under here. Keep an eye out for the parts to the carnival ride. Despite the enormous amount of money poured into the football field, several features were never finished. Bleachers, concession stands, and restroom facilities to accommodate 5,000 fans on the south side of the football field never materialized. Staff offices, maintenance facilities, and additional locker room also never saw the light of day. Gravel for an 8-lane running track surrounded the football field, and it was laid down, but it was never actually paved. Here comes your carnival ride. Squeak, squeak. See that boat? There's a couple boats back here. Like fiberglass carnival ride deals. So already in 1962, the stadium was starting to have some major problems. Building inspectors noted considerable cracking and moisture damage in the concrete supporting the bleachers. Scandal swirled around the field when a federal investigation into 6 individuals involved with the project were convicted for kickbacks and bribes during the development. Nothing more than a coat of fresh paint was used to put the concerns about construction to rest. Man, this Mandich mayor was a screw-up, man. He wasted $1 million. That would be like your mayor wasting $8 million today, adjusted for inflation. At one point, all the local high schools used these facilities, and then I believe around 1973, the schools decided that it no longer met their needs and they would be better off to construct their own facilities. Over the next 30 years, the languishing facility would only be used intermittently. Anecdotal evidence says that the scoreboard has not been lit since some point in the 1980s. Tower lights that went dark were no longer replaced. In 1994, concrete collapsed onto an electrical transformer, which knocked out power and led to the cancellation of the Taste of Gary Festival. Functional indoor plumbing only existed in the distant memories of those who knew the stadium in its prime. In between use, weeds would consistently reclaim the surrounding area, and the beleaguered venue was on its way to extinction. Still on its way, although it's no longer in use at all. It's not safe. We did see somebody come while we were here and walk around the overgrown gravel that's goes around the football field. They were using it to walk on, and I guess that's the track that was never finished. I also wondered at the time that we were here why there was no stands on the other side of the field, and that question was answered when I found out about the construction. And they must have embezzled a lot of money, though. They only used 630 tons of steel, and it costs more to build than Lambeau Field, and they used 11,000 tons. So a lot of money was stolen from this project. Had to be tons of money, hundreds of thousands easily. Wonder how much Mayor Mandich got. There's some lottery cards in the desk. Indiana Pacers hat. By the way, guys, I'm going to say it again. Don't be a freeloader. Hit the like button. I wish I had to give away a t-shirt on every single video. All it would require, 1,000 people at least watch every single video. Just click the like button. If you're on a PlayStation or something else, there is a way to drop down and hit the like button. And until I can consistently get a better rate of people to hit that like button, I'm going to continue to ask for it. But I'm just trying to do what I have to do to make sure that the channel survives. Look at all this stuff left behind down here. There were sure a lot of TVs here. Looks like a mailbox. Gleason Park. There's a sign. If I was that guy, I would have been ticked off. They put his name on a substandard piece of crap stadium. That's like a knockoff of a Gibson SG, it looks like. Nails and screws. Man, there's a lot of television sets left in this place. There was a bunch of them in the first part, too. That's a cool chair. That's really cool. Man, I would have loved to fix those or clean them off and take them home. And look at that. Anybody have any guess on what year those would be from? That little love seat and the two chairs? There's another football helmet. I almost, that wasn't good. The stabilizer makes it look like I didn't fall, but I did. There's a weed eater. Board game or something. There's the medical table we saw last time. Now we're going to come out here and take a look around. Then we're going to head out in front of the bleachers and take a look. And then we're going to go in another building that's part of this facility and see what's left.
You should have followed me.
I was trying to catch this airplane that flew over. Here, watch. If the audio sounds crappy on your end, I'm sorry about it. I don't know what happened to that. There's a beautiful Gilroy Stadium. Geez, sorry about that audio. Here it is from the front side. Actually a pretty big setup, you know, except for there's only one set of stands. I can't believe that in the 1950s they spent $1 million just to construct that. I mean, that probably should have cost, I don't really know, $300,000 or something. It was like people were big time on the take. There's some of the lights. They haven't been lit in a long time. See the problems I have trying to deal with this shoddy equipment. Seeing if I would have just showed you from the top to the bottom, it would have looked nice. Uh-oh. I'll tell you what that uh-oh was about. I just found more swearing in the video that I had to go back and delete the sound. So here we are headed towards a tennis facility. We didn't know what it was at the time. There's tennis courts behind here, but there's also this building that kind of has a office, and it looks like it's the headquarters for the tennis players. It's pretty overgrown. There was a bunch of mosquitoes swarming us too. That was kind of annoying. A couple tennis rackets laying out here. Anybody want to play tennis? Man, I hope I found all the bad words. When he suggested coming here, I didn't think it sounded that cool, but I was only picturing like the grandstands and a bunch of big open nothingness, kind of like what you might see in an empty warehouse. I'm walking on top of the desk. All the desks were left full, all kinds of stuff left here. This facility closed when tapes were the main mode of media for music. No CD cases in here. There's a big Domino's Pizza tennis team. Domino's Pizza Team Tennis. That's weird. Man, there's all kinds of swearing. I'm going to have to cut this audio. I'm sorry, guys. You know, for months and months before this, there was all these crybabies crying about a few expletives sprinkled here and there, and it finally came to pass. I had to just cut this audio now because I'll have, it'll just, the video will, YouTube will catch it right away. So anyways, hopefully I have everything removed. If I don't, I don't know. USTA. I'm trying to get better, but some of this older footage, I didn't know they were going to
The tennis court.
make all of YouTube kid-friendly. I just don't understand it, but anyways, enough on that. Yeah, we couldn't get into the tennis court. Surprisingly, it's the one thing that people haven't broken into yet. This is actually how we got back here. We decided not to walk across the field, and instead I'm probably driving on the gravel that they say was put out around the football stadium as a running track, but was never completed. So anyways, here we are driving along. You can see it's bumpy because even with the stabilizer it's got a little shake, so it was a little rough driving out of this field. See, there's some more of the gravel. The rest of it's overgrown. and that's the gravel for the running track that was never completed. How goofy is that? They had a football field and stadium with a gravel circle track that was never finished. And this is on our way out of Gary, right after we left. You can imagine that all those empty lots there had something standing on them at one point. And so there's just tons of overgrown empty lots where stuff used to stand, but there's still a fair amount of abandoned stuff. But you see the sidewalks and, concrete going up into overgrown lots.